Hey guys, recently I was in China. I visited Shanghai and Beijing. In Beijing, I was staying at a hotel next to a mall, this really big mall, huge mall, luxury boutiques and everything. All of the big brands were there. So I was going there on a daily basis. Also, the mall had these amazing coffee shops. In fact, I mentioned it in my No Shanghai video how great the coffee was in China. In fact, I'm impressed with the quality and better than France and Italy. The coffee was amazing. But I was going to the mall and I noticed that there was a Atelier Cologne boutique in that mall. So Atelier Cologne pulled from the United States and they haven't been back since then. So they pulled, or L'Oreal, who is their parent company, pulled them from North America, I guess redid their branding and then launched in Asia. And I'm not 100% sure if it's just China or if it's all Asia, but I did find a store in China, in Beijing, at a mall that was close to the hotel. So I posted about it on Instagram, and some of the comments that came in are interesting. So I'm going to read you some of the comments that came in and also go over some of the fragrances that are still selling online at the discounters in case you have an interest in getting these. But it's interesting what some of the people mentioned. So one person said, I miss this brand. Orange Sanguine is a classic, which is one of the ones that are readily available online. But it's interesting with the comments that came in. Atelier fragrances still feel very appealing, even those released 10 years ago. They haven't lost their relevance. However, when it comes to the new bottle design, I find it completely absurd. First of all, it has become monochromatic. While previously you could distinguish the fragrances by the color of label, now it's quite difficult. You have to search for the name. Secondly, from a logical standpoint, it seems totally irrational to make the replaceable part of the bottle the plaque. The same for all fragrances with only the brand name on it, while the fragrance name is printed on a sticker that can wear off. I've already seen testers with torn stickers. They actually place that sticker right at the edge of the bottle, but if the plaque is the replaceable part, why not write the fragrance name on it? The whole thing feels unprofessional. So yeah, I don't know what, do you agree with this comment? I agree, because before they were all these beautiful colors and they had the more intense fragrances in these kind of gold colored, and I think there was even silver colored, but I have two gold colored bottles, gold leather and Emeraude Agar. But I believe they had silver and, various different colors, but they were very colorful. Now it's just blue, which I almost feel like somebody didn't do their job. I don't know what's going on. But somebody wrote, they are everywhere in Europe too. And I had to chime in and I said, I was in Europe 3 months, approximately 3 months this year I spent in Europe. I did not come across any Atelier Cologne. So somebody wrote to my comment, I'm also curious about this. Even in Paris, I only found a small setup in DFS Saint-Martin. I think the only place where they are sold in Paris, which it's a French brand. I guess it started by a French couple in New York City, in Brooklyn. But I think it's a French brand because I used to see it in Paris when I visited Paris before the pandemic and just after the pandemic started when they pulled the brand. And then I wrote, oh, wow, people are saying they're everywhere in Europe. As I said, I've never seen them. So I guess I'm not the only one. So because people chimed in and said, no, I haven't seen it either. And the same guy wrote, they are everywhere in Europe, wrote, for sure, Notino and Sephora sells them. I've been to Sephora. I haven't seen Atelier Cologne. And somebody chimed in and said, I didn't see them in London and Spain. Google only shows store in Paris and several locations in Asia. So then we've got Taiwan has it too. Somebody wrote the Chinese translation of the names are beautifully done. Somebody wrote Santal Carmen is beautiful. And then somebody wrote, they are definitely in every Notino and Sephora in Poland. Yeah, I haven't visited Poland, unfortunately. Somebody wrote, I mean, it kind of makes sense. The Asian market, in particular the East Asian market, is in a massive fragrance revolution boom. China, I was surprised how much they love their perfumes. I also visited Japan 2 years prior, and I didn't see this kind of, passion and interest in perfumes in Japan as I did in China. Despite being cologne absolutes, that freshness makes Atelier feel like a lighter scent. The rest of the world is in search of extra level intensity. Asian collectivist ideals prioritize a quieter indoor voice. Disappointment aside, I think this makes sense from a marketing fit POV. Somebody wrote, I miss them, kind of annoyed with how they handled leaving the United States and can't give a straight answer about coming back. I have a feeling this all stems from the L'Oreal acquisition. Somebody wrote, I don't think they are in Sephora anymore. I don't understand it. I just heard from someone tell me the founders went through a messy divorce and L'Oreal is in charge now, and I don't remember the rest. There was some sort of reason why it's harder to find them in North America. Does that make sense, or am I way off? Camellia Intense still available? I don't know. I can't remember if I saw it in the Beijing location, but it's a beautiful store. Which one was my favorite from them? Gold Leather, for sure. Rose Anonyme. California, Clementine, California. Several others. I've got some that I'm going to go over here. The Musk Eternal was also great. Then somebody wrote, this house was really a big thing back in the days, overshadowed currently. Somebody wrote, I had a bottle of California Clementine, was very upset when found out that Atelier Cologne won't be sold in North America. Somebody wrote, Chez la Samaritaine à Paris. And somebody wrote, I miss this brand. I guess that's pretty much it, is what I wrote. So those are some comments I received on the post I did on Instagram. If you haven't caught it, go catch it. Maybe you guys can chime in on those comments. But I kind of want to go over some of these fragrances with you because, again, I still don't understand what's going on with the brand. Earlier this year, I heard from some people in Paris while I was attending. No, it was last year, actually. Sorry about that. When I was attending Paris Perfume Week, that L'Oreal was relaunching the brand only in Asia. But I was surprised to see such a big store in Beijing. So I'm assuming it's not the only store in China. I mean, that store was huge. It was big, beautiful, really nicely laid out. But some of these fragrances are still available. I don't know how long they'll be available at the discounters. So I'm going to highlight some of the fragrances that are still selling in case you're in the market for them. Most importantly, it's Orange Sanguine. I have a love-hate relationship with this one, but I think this is one of the most popular fragrances from this house. And a lot of people associate this house or connect this house with Orange Sanguine. To me, it smells like orange juice. And if you like the idea of orange juice in a fragrance, this is the one to try. Literally smells like orange juice. It's not tart too much, mostly sweet, but the actual orange just comes to life. For me, it's a skin scent, but I think people like this. In the heat, I think it comes alive further. The smell amplifies and intensifies. So it's a great smelling orange fragrance. I think they've captured all the qualities of the orange in this fragrance. So there's 100 ml for $85 and a 200 ml, which is this size that I have here. It's $171. So I think it's a very naturalistic orange fragrance. If that's your thing, you should definitely check that out because I think it's a good orange fragrance. For me, I would leave that for like the really hot days because it's, for me, close to the skin. It's kind of like a close to the skin musk for me, but in a citrus form. Now, this next one I found to be really, really interesting. This launched later on. I think it launched just before the brand folded. It was, I think, around the time of the pandemic. I have a video on this on the channel, actually, a review. It's Love Osmanthus. Osmanthus was a very popular note for a while. I think this came out. There was a Louis Vuitton fragrance that came out featuring Osmanthus. There was all these Osmanthus-focused fragrances. Osmanthus is this flower. In fact, I was hoping to catch the blooming of the flower. Apparently, it happens after in October sometime, so I kind of missed it in Shanghai, I heard. But they've done the Osmanthus beautiful here. They've brought out all of its apricot-y, fruity, stone fruity qualities. It's very fresh and fruity here. But the cool thing is the discounter that I'm going to link to has 200 ml bottles of it for $75, 100 ml bottles for $80, which is kind of weird. A 200 ml is like on super clearance, and it's cheaper than 100 ml, which the 100 mls are these bottles. And as you can see, the size differences. So 200 ml of the Love Osmanthus, great. And again, it's fruity, it's fresh, it's floral, and it's slightly spicy. I guess on the skin, some light leather comes through, but they've done it in a way that it's super juicy and fruity. And if you like the idea of apricots, stone fruits, flowers together, it smells really, really great. Once again, this is part of their Freshy collection of fragrances. It's called Cologne Absolu. So they're fresh fragrances. Leave it for really warm days, or unless you like to wear, the fresh types of fragrances all year round, this will definitely satisfy. So that is a really great deal, I think. 200 ml for 75, 100 ml for 80. I would go for the larger bottle. Maybe if it's too much juice, split it with somebody. But the next fragrance is Oolang Infini. This is also something I discovered around that time before they folded. By the way, my favorite fragrance from this house is Cafe Tuberosa, which I have a few backup bottles of. I bought when they discontinued it, just before they announced that they were closing, and I ordered it from the New York store because Atelier Cologne had a New York physical standalone New York store. I don't know what street it was, but the same street that Lucky Scent Bar is on in New York City. It was almost across the street. And I knew the guy that worked there, so we chatted, and he told me it's discontinued, the Cafe Tuberosa. If you want some, get some before we run out. But Oolang Infini is a really great fresh tea-focused fragrance, 100 ml for $95. This bottle that I have is the 200 ml, so it is a bigger bottle, but you get a bottle this size right here. This is very fresh and aromatic, spicy and cozy. But to me, it's a tea fragrance, but they've made it very, very fresh. It's got an invigorating quality about it. But in the back, you do smell the tea. And whenever I smell tea fragrances, something comes over me. There's that soothing, kind of relaxing, vibe it provides. And it makes for a very cozy experience. But similar concentration of all of these fragrances is part of their Cologne Absolu. I think that's what they're all called. I don't know. Some brands make their own concentration name, because here it says Cologne Absolu, but it says Pure Perfume. But these more metallic color bottles are stronger, more concentrated compared to the freshness of these. But the Oolang Infini is really, really wonderful. It's a very fresh tea fragrance. So that one is 100 ml for $95. Now we've got one of the more concentrated fragrances. This is Emeraude Agar. For some reason, for a long time, I thought I got similar qualities in this that I do from fragrance of Kilian called Straight to Heaven. But I no longer do. But I do get booziness in here, and I think that's the reason why I got somewhat of a connection. There's a booziness in here, but also it's very spicy. And I also connected with Tom Ford's Oud Wood. It's that kind of oudy fragrance. It's a Western oud, so it's not necessarily anything like providing a funk or animalic qualities. Very easy to wear, very masculine, very spicy, and I do get boozy touches with this one as well. Most likely they're creating the oud in this with like cypriol, and whenever I smell cypriol, sometimes I get the barrel that the booze is aging in, that kind of a smell. So it gives it a bit of a boozy edge with this one. I really loved it. This was my second favorite in the colored bottles like this. The first one is gold leather. Thankfully, I have some. But it's very easy, masculine, Western oud, spicy and woody, aromatic. And then, of course, that booziness comes in. So Emeraude Agar right now is 200 ml bottle. So it's a large bottle like this for $216. Whoops. Then we've got Grand Neroli. Grand Neroli is also selling currently. It's a 200 ml bottle for $138. I hope I was right about that one. Let me pause. Yes, I was right about the size. It's a 200 ml of Grand Neroli for $138. That's a great price for a Neroli focused fragrance. Neroli is the orange blossom. It's different types of distillation extraction from the orange blossom. And it smells so good. It's so, so invigorating. Very, very fresh and floral, but citrusy. It's basically the citrus floral come alive. And I think that's a great deal for a 200 ml. I think the Love Osmanthus in the 200 ml is the better deal. But 200 ml of orange sanguine is 171. 100 ml is 85. But a 200 ml of Grand Neroli for 138 is a really, really great price, I think. And it's very, very fresh. Once again, this collection is going to be perfect in the summer. And even though we're going into winter now, I think these fragrances can be worn all year round, but they're not going to have the intensity for winter wear. They're going to have more of a better experience for summer wear. But some people don't look at that, you know. They want to just smell great. These are very easy to wear fragrances. And for $138 for 200 ml, I think it's a great smell. It smells really, really wonderful. In fact, out of all of the fresh fragrances I've smelled so far, this one seems to be the strongest. And I've had my bottle for years. This bottle might be over 10 years. And to me, it smells fantastic. I've kept it in a very cool, dark, dry space. I mean, it's here, but when I'm not here, it's always dark in here and with the air conditioner on. All of these bottles are pretty... No, the Love Osmanthus, Oolang, Infini are newer than Grand Neroli and Orange Sanguine. Even the next fragrance I'm going to talk about, the POMELO PARADIS. The POMELO PARADIS 100 ml, $89. And pomelo is like a grapefruit. So once again, we're keeping it in the citrusy family. It's fresh. It's a bit bitter. It's sweet tart. And very, very invigorating fragrance. It's a juicy, lots of juiciness here. And just imagine you're juicing the pomelo, or in this case, maybe like something like grapefruit. To me, it's actually got sweetness, enough sweetness to make it not so bitter. But to me, once again, the one that really shined with its strength out of all of these fresh fragrances is the Grand Neroli. The way it's smelling, it's got depth. Maybe my bottle hasn't turned, but it's aged, so it's a bit more concentrated, but it's smelling so good. Really, really great. And then gold leather. It's I remember when this launched, Neiman Marcus had just brought it out. Was it like 2015 or 2014? Somewhere around there. It was an instant love. It's boozy. This one's quite boozy. It's a leather that's quite boozy, but also there's a creamy, like a pulpy creaminess in there. So good. So good. This is definitely one of the best. So the gold leather, they only have two sizes, and it's 30 ml for 55, 100 ml for 120, but this is definitely one of the best from the house. It's so good. So, like, it's almost like a succulent leather with boozy notes thrown on it. It's spicy, it's woody, it's ambery, but for me, there's that pulpy depth that I haven't experienced in leather fragrances. The gold leather name is appropriate. For some reason, I think of the Woman in Gold, the Klimt painting, but this is not a feminine fragrance. It screams gold. I think the name is just appropriate for it. That's really good. I haven't spoken about these fragrances in a long time, since the brand pulled out. But gold leather, man, that one I would rush for. I would rush for the Grand Neroli as well. It's a great price. And then the Love Osmanthus is also such a great deal. Now, the last fragrance is the one that I actually picked up just before the brand disappeared. So I don't know much about it. Let me put it back on like this. It's Lemon Island. It's another one of their fresh fragrances. So Lemon Island, 100 ml for 68. Great price. Really, really great price for this one. But I don't know it. I don't know it very well. So the fact that it has the word lemon in it, we're going to be experiencing a lemony fragrance. But it's got the word island in it, and I'm getting like a kind of a beachy, lemony fragrance. There's a creamy kind of a sunscreeny smell under the lemony touches. But yeah, I think the beachy fragrances are pretty popular these days. There's definitely something creamy, like coconut. Maybe there's coconut in this. Let's see if they have the notes breakdown. Oh, so it's jasmine, lemon, and vanilla. But I'm for sure getting coconut. It's almost like something like a beach walk, that creaminess that it has. On top of that, they've freshened it up with the lemons. It's pleasant for sure. And that's the last one, 100 ml 68. This is a 100 ml size right here in this box. So they've added the word pure perfume to this. But it doesn't really make sense because pure perfume... Anyway, just pointing out these fragrances for you guys, just because also I experienced the store. I smelled a lot of their fragrances. I noticed the bottles are pretty uniform now. I like these bottles a lot more, actually. I agree with that commenter. And I don't know what the deal with the brand is going to be. I think they've just basically launched for the Asian market. I don't think they're bringing the brand back here. But if they do, there might be, I mean, it's going to be confusing because the bottles all are blue now, which kind of confusing. But let me know which of these fragrances you're a fan of. If you are a fan of something else that I didn't speak about, let me know. But I was saying earlier, Cafe Tuberosa is definitely one of my favorites. I think I still prefer Gold Leather as number one, but Cafe Tuberosa is like really, really close. What I liked about it was it reminded me a little bit of Intense Cafe, not so creamy, but it was rose and tuberose with coffee. So good. Such a great fragrance. That's been long gone. I have not been able to find any of that anywhere. It also came in a bottle like this, but it had great strength. It was not super fresh because, you know, it's a substantial kind of notes they were using in it. But yeah, that's been long gone, but this is still here. Gold Leather, definitely solid, but take advantage of some of these discounts right away, and uncertain how long they'll be. Or they'll stick around, and who knows? They'll either come to the USA or maybe they won't come at all. If you guys have any info, do add a comment. But thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, do list below, and please like the video and share it, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.